everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, I will talk about the metacarpal and the phalanges. If you are new to this channel, then please subscribe it because we make very informative and interesting videos for the MBBS student. So let's get started. So the metacarpal bones are the 5 miniature bones which are numbered from lateral to medial, and the phalanges will get distally to the metacarpal bone. So this all are the metacarpal bone. As you can see, from lateral to medial, first metacarpal, second, third, fourth and the fifth one. And the phalanges you will get more distal to the metacarpal bone. So this all are the phalanges. How we will identify that how many phalanges or the which sided phalanges it is? That for the first digit or for the thumb, you will get only 2 phalanges, 1 and 2. For the other digits, you will get 3 phalanges. But here you will not get, but if you see your bone, maybe you have the 3 phalanges for each other 4 digits. But only 2 phalanges for the thumb or the first digit. Okay, so each bone has a head placed distally, a shaft and the base at the proximal end. You can see the head here in the distal end and the base here in the proximal end. So these all are the base of the metacarpal bone. The head is round and it has an articular surface which extends from anterior posteriorly then laterally. It extends more on the palmar surface than on the dorsal surface, and the head of the metacarpal bones forms a knuckles. As you can see, these all are the head and it bears a articular surface anterior posteriorly. For what? For all these phalanges, Okay. Now next, the shaft is concave on the palmar surface and its dorsal surface bears a flat triangular area in its distal part. So you can see the palmar surface is concave in nature. So this shaft is concave in nature, but in the distal part you will get a triangular like appearance in the distal part. As you can see, this all are the triangular part. Okay. Now next is the base is irregularly expanded. So this base are irregularly expanded. As you can see, there is no specific enlargement, but there is an irregularity. The metacarpal bone can be distinguished from the metatarsal bones. How you will differentiate between the metacarpal and the metatarsal bone? So this is the metatarsal bone. This all are the metatarsal bone. Okay, and this all are the metacarpal bone. So metacarpal bone, head and the shaft are piecemoid in nature. But for the metatarsal bone, the head and the shaft are flattened from side to side. As you can see, these metatarsal bones are flattened from side to side, but for this, it is not. For the metacarpal bone, the shaft is of uniform thickness. So this shaft is of uniform thickness. And for the metatarsal bone, the shaft is tapered distally. So as you can see, these all are the distal part. So the shaft is tapered more distally. Next is the dorsal surface of the shaft has an elongated flat triangular area. So as I have said you now only that this all are the triangular area on the dorsal part of the metacarpal bone. But for the metatarsal bone, the dorsal surface of the shaft is uniformly convex in nature. So it is convex in nature. Now next is the base is irregular, and for the metatarsal bone, the base appears to be cut sharply and obliquely. So the base, I said it is irregular, okay, because it is not expanded in regular manner. But as you can see in the metatarsal bone, as if it is cut obliquely, okay. So this all are the difference between the metatarsal bone and the metacarpal bone. Now, next I will talk about the characteristic and the side determination of the metacarpal bone. Obviously, you will not get the bone separately. You will get in this manner along with the carpal, metacarpal and the phalanges joined together. But if you get separately, so how we will identify which metacarpal it is? So let's get with the first one. Characteristic, it is the shortest and the stoutest of all the metacarpal bone. As you can see, the most smallest one. the base is occupied by the convexo-concave articular surface of the trapezium. So as I said you, if you have not watched my carpal video, then go and please watch the carpal video. I will give the link in the description box or in the I button. So this is the trapezium part. This is the trapezium bone. So it articulates with the trapezium. Okay. Now next is that the dorsal surface of the shaft is uniformly convex. So this dorsal part is obviously convex in nature. This part. Then the head is less convex and broader from side to side than the heads of the other metacarpal. So this, you can see the head is more less convex than other of them. The first metacarpal bone is rotated medially through 90 degree related to the other metacarpal bone. For this, as a result, the rotation and the movement of the thumb takes place at the right angle. So this is the right angle of the thumb. So we can move the finger of our thumb in 90 degree. But for the other metacarpal, we cannot do it. So we can move it like this in the 90 degree angle. Okay. But for the other, we cannot do it. Okay. Now next, what we have is that it does not articulate with any other metacarpal bone. So very interesting part, that see all the metacarpal bone, it joins or it articulates with each other, but the first one does not articulate with any other metacarpal bone. Okay, so this all are the characteristic of the first metacarpal bone. Now if which side it is, for the side determination, how we will identify? The first one, the anterior lateral surface is larger than the anterior medial surface. This is the anterior medial surface will be more larger. Anterior lateral surface will be more larger than the anterior medial surface. So this all are the thing you have to remember for the first metacarpal. So moving into the second metacarpal. For the second metacarpal, the base is grooved from before backward. So this base is grooved from before backward, and the medial edge of the groove is larger. And how we will identify the side of the second metacarpal? The medial edge of the groove on the base is deeper than the lateral edge. And the next thing is that the medial side of the base bears an articular stripe which is constricted in the middle. So this all are the identification points for the second metacarpal bone. Now for moving into the third metacarpal, the base has a styloid process which projects up from the dorsolateral corner. So it will contain a styloid process which will have it here. So it will contain a styloid process, and the side determination is that the styloid process is in the dorsolateral side. Obviously, the lateral side of the base bears an articular stripe which is constricted in the middle. And the last point is that the medial side of the base has a two small oval facet for the fourth metacarpal. So as it joins with the fourth metacarpal, obviously it will contain a facet for the fourth metacarpal bone. Now next, moving into the fourth one, the base has a two small oval facet on the lateral side for the third metacarpal, and on its medial side, it has a single elongated facet for the fifth metacarpal. So in the fourth metacarpal bone, you will get two facets, one for the third metacarpal and one for the fifth metacarpal. Okay, now next, the side determination point is the lateral side of the base has two small oval facets for the third metacarpal, and the medial side will contain other facet for the fifth metacarpal. Okay, so this is the identification point for the fourth metacarpal bone. Now moving into the fifth one, the base has an elongated articular stripe on its lateral side for the fourth metacarpal, and the medial side of the base is non-articular and bears a tubercle. So here in the lateral side, as I said that it articulates with the fourth metacarpal bone, so it will contain a lateral side of facet for the fourth metacarpal bone. So and in the medial side there is no articular surface. So this is the identification point, and the side determination is that and the same thing, that in the lateral side you will get an articular surface and medial side you will get a tubercle. Okay, so this all are the characteristic and the side determination of the metacarpal bone. Now moving into the attachment. So the intrinsic muscles of the hand are attached here. I will make a separate video on the intrinsic muscles of the hand very soon. So moving into the first one. First, in the first metacarpal carpal bone, you will get the attachment or insertion of the opponent's pollicis. So opponent's pollicis will be in the radial border. So radial border, radius will be in the lateral side. So in the lateral side, in the radial border, you will get a insertion of the opponent's pollicis. Now, abductor pollicis longus is inserted in the lateral side of the base. So, this is the base and this is the lateral side. So, you will get the attachment of the abductor pollicis longus. Now, next, the first palmar interosseous muscle arises from the ulnar side of the base. So, ulnar side means in the medial side. So, in the medial side, you will get the attachment of the first palmar interosseous muscle. So, these all are the attachment for the first metacarpal bone. So, next is the attachment or the main attachment in the second metacarpal. In the second metacarpal, you will get the flexure carpi radialis is inserted on the tubercle on the palmar surface of the base. So this is the palmar surface of the base, and in the second metacarpal, in the base, you will get the flexure carpi radialis muscle. The now extensor carpi radialis longus is inserted into the dorsal surface of the base. So in the dorsal surface, you will get the extensor carpi radialis longus. Now next, the oblique head of the abductor pollicis arises from the palmar surface of the base. So, oblique head of the here, you will get the oblique head of the abductor pollicis. Okay, so this all are the insertion or the attachment for the second metacarpal. Now, moving into the third metacarpal, first you will get a sleeve from the flexure. For the flexure carpi radialis is inserted into the palmar surface of the base. So in the palmar surface of the base, you will get the attachment of the flexure carpi radialis. Now the extensor carpi radialis brevis is inserted on the dorsal surface of the base immediately beyond the styloid process. As I said you that in the dorsal aspect you will get a styloid process here. So here the attachment of the extensor carpi radialis brevis will be there. Now, the oblique head of the abductor pollicis arises from the palmar surface of the base. From the palmar surface of the base of the third metacarpal, you will get the oblique head of the abductor pollicis. The transverse head of the adductor pollicis arises from the distal two-thirds of the palmar surface of the shaft. So, from the shaft, you will get in the two-third transverse head of the abductor pollicis. Okay, so this all are the attachment for the third metacarpal and the first, second and the third metacarpal. Now moving into the fourth one, only the interosseous arises from it. So interosseous will arise from the ulnar border. So from the fourth, only the interosseous muscle will arise from it. Now from the fifth one, the extensor carpi ulnaris is inserted on the tubercle at the base. So tubercle will be in the medial side. So in the tubercle, you will get the extensor carpi ulnaris muscle. Now opponent's digiti minimi is inserted on the medial surface of the shaft. So this is the medial surface of the shaft. So you will get the all the digiti minimi muscle. So here you will get all the digiti minimi muscle. Okay. So, these all are the main attachment of the metacarpal which you have to read. Now, next moving into the articular surface or which bone articulates with the metacarpal bone. Okay. So, the first one, obviously as I said you, the most important identification point is it attaches or it articulates with the trapezium. Okay. And forms a saddle shaped joint. Okay. Next, so the second one, it also articulates with the trapezium, the trapezoid, the capitate and the third metacarpal. So this one, it articulates with the trapezium, the trapezoid and the capitate. Okay. And obviously it joins with the third metacarpal. Now next, for the third metacarpal bone, with the capitate and the second and the fourth metacarpal. So you can see it only joins with the capitate bone and with the second and the third metacarpal bone. Okay, now next for the fourth one, it articulates with the capitate, hamate and the third and the fifth metacarpal bone. So this is the capitate and this is the hamate, it articulates, and the fourth and the fifth metacarpal bone, it articulates. For the fifth one, with the hamate and the fourth metacarpal. So as you can see, it only articulates with the hamate, not with the pisiform, because pisiform is placed above. So it articulates with the hamate and the fourth metacarpal bone. So these all are the articulation of the bases. And as you know, the head, all of the head articulates with the phalanges. So you don't have to learn much about the phalanges. Only you have to learn about the metacarpal and the phalanges and the carpals. Okay. So these all are the articulations. So moving into the clinical, as you know, the fractures of the base of the first metacarpal is called as the Bonnett's fracture, and it involves in the anterior part of the base and is caused by a force along its long axis, and the thumb is forced into a semi-flexed position and cannot be opposed, and the fist cannot be clenched. Okay. The important question your examiner may ask is obviously the identification, that which number is it. You have to identify the carpal, the metacarpal, the obviously the carpal bone separately, the metacarpal separately, and the phalanges, and or which sided or how many phalanges are there for the first digit and the other digits. So these all are the important questions for the in the viva which your examiner will ask. And obviously the intrinsic muscles of the hand, the main attachment of the intrinsic muscle they will ask, and the articular surfaces, it articulates which are the bones, okay, so of the base and in the head also. So these all are the important questions your examiner will ask. So thank you. Like, share and subscribe to my channel. Obviously comment below. Thank you.